gospel account in Mark chapter 8 indicates that perhaps the other apostles thought the same way. See, they found it, what Jesus was saying, is hard to believe. Now, what was the problem? These were not wicked men. These were spiritual men. But the problem was that at that moment, they were using human reasoning, thoughts of men, rather than realizing that Jesus was expressing God's thoughts.
Hi, Rose here. Did you know that there are roughly 10,000 distinct religions in the world? There's monotheistic religions, those who believe in one God, such as Catholics and Muslims. You also have polytheistic religions such as Hinduism, Buddhism, Wicca, Confucianism, and so on. A religion is considered a belief system. It's a set of interconnected beliefs, often relating to spirituality and morality, that guide individuals within a particular faith tradition. It's a person's belief system, so even an atheist can have a religion, because it takes a lot of faith to believe that there's not a higher being behind creation. So, with so many religions to choose from, how do you know which one is backed by God? What makes a religion? How did religion start? Well, let's find out in this video. But before we go on, please make sure to like and subscribe to help this video go out to a wider audience, algorithms and all. And I always do look forward to your comments and what you think. Religion is defined as the belief in and worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or multiple gods. Religion is also a particular system of faith and worship, or a pursuit or interest to which someone ascribes supreme importance. It's difficult to pinpoint the first religion, as the religious experience of humans predates written history. However, some of the oldest religions include Hinduism and Judaism. So knowing all of this, which religion is right? Was it God's purpose to have organized religions like we see today? Well, let's think about this. I'm going to use the early Christians and Jesus' words. But because many don't believe in the Bible, as I talk about what Jesus said, think about the principles of his words and apply them to any religion, whether they have a belief in the Bible or not. During Jesus' lifetime, Judaism was the main religion. Judaism at the time of Jesus was both unified and divided, much like Christianity is today. All Jews believed and practiced some core aspects of their religion. But then Jesus came. He showed how the religions of his day oppressed the true believers. In fact, he referred to the religious leaders, such as the scribes and Pharisees, as a brood of evil vipers at Matthew 12:34, because they used belief in God and the Mosaic law as a means to control people. When Jesus was put to death, the Mosaic law of the Jews was done away with. So, the religion of the Mosaic law was done away with. And it wasn't until 300 years later that Christianity became an organized religion set up by Constantine. However, many of the tenets of Judaism was maintained, such as the belief in one God and the teaching that you must believe in that God in order to be saved. It was also at that time that Christianity started to become organized. It was at this time, in order to be saved, you had to meet together and follow the rules and regulations set up by the church leaders. Sadly, at this point, Christianity had lost its simplicity. Christianity became no different than the religious leaders during Jesus' day. At Matthew 20, Jesus stated that where there are two or more together gathered in his name, he is with them. His followers did not have a formally organized religion as we understand it today. Instead, they were considered a sect within Judaism, gathering in small groups and primarily focusing on Jesus' teachings. There wasn't a structured church hierarchy or established religious institution. At Romans 10, 9 through 10, Jesus stated that if we truly believe in him, we will be saved. That was the main message of the early Christians, or those who began to follow Jesus' teaching. At John 14:6, Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." So did Jesus sacrifice his life so that we would have buildings to worship in, a plethora of religious denominations, or even a religion we call Christianity? Or did Jesus die so that you would be reconciled to God? To be reconciled in this context means to be brought into an agreement or right relationship with God. Reconciliation means to bring us into accord with God, in that we are in right relations with him through Jesus Christ, and is not based on following a set of rules set up by men, as we see at Ephesians 2:8. So as a Christian, those who follow Jesus, it is not following a set of rules and regulations requiring you.
It becomes an equally a good lesson for us today to know the limits of our authority and responsibility. We don't want to be rebellious. Instead, we want to follow the lead of the faithful slave, be content to do that.
So as a Christian, those who follow Jesus, it is not following a set of rules and regulations requiring you to meet every week and have a person or persons tell you how to believe and what to do in order to gain salvation. There are many man-made religions, the main tenets of which have good to them, such as being a good human being and believing in a higher power. Most religions, not all, teach that their way is the only way to salvation. So is organized religion backed by God? Which religion is the correct one? At Matthew 7, verse 16, Jesus said, "You will know them by their fruits." Jesus warns against false prophets, saying that you can identify them by their actions and character, which are like the fruits of a tree. A good tree produces good fruit. A rotten tree produces rotten fruits. What are some rotten fruits? At Matthew 7:15, he said, "There would be men who would come and be a wolf in sheep's clothing." Here, Jesus warns people to beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Men who would say you have to believe as they want you to, or you won't be saved. They would use belief in God as a means to control the masses.
We don't want to be rebellious. Instead, we want to follow the lead of the faithful slave, be content to do that.
Personally, I believe in a higher power. That's the way my brain works. My belief system is the Christian way of thinking, but I don't believe any particular religion has everything right. I also don't believe I need someone to tell me what the scriptures say. Those in Jesus' day didn't have someone telling them how to believe. Like I said earlier, in Jesus' day, the early Christians did not meet together to have someone tell them how to follow him. They did not have rules and regulations such as being required to meet together and follow any man's understandings of what Jesus taught. They had discussions, and they came to conclusions on their own. In fact, many early Christians didn't agree on everything, but that didn't mean they were wrong. They just didn't agree, but they still had a strong faith in Jesus. So, do you have to be a part of an organized religion to be told what God wants you to believe and how to live your life? Well, that is completely up to you, and no one has the right to tell you differently. Why? Because no man or woman, for that matter, truly knows exactly. If you do choose a religion, Does that religion make belief in God difficult? Does that religion make the teachings of Jesus complicated? Because Jesus' teachings are very simple. So simple a child can understand them. So do you need a channel of communication to believe in God? Men who decipher a complicated message and distribute it to you because only they can understand the message.
That lesson was trust Jehovah and trust the channel that Jehovah is using. And if they do that, they would be thinking God's thoughts. And
there is a reason why all of these religious leaders over the years have been wrong and continue to be wrong down to today. It's because they have taken a simple message and made it complicated by design. So you'll have to follow them and they can control you. So, do you need an organized religion in order to believe in God? Well, you decide, because that is your God-given right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like. Algorithms, it helps this video go out to a larger audience. And if you really liked it, please subscribe so that you can be notified of future videos. And you know I always enjoy reading your comments and your thoughts. As always, take care of yourselves and stay strong. Do not let those men in New York win. Thanks for watching.